Power is tearing human minds into pieces and putting them together again in new shapes of your own choosing. George Orwell, 1984. Welcome back to another On Your Right. This time, we will be taking a look at your freedom of speech and expression. The First Amendment is probably the most fundamental right we have. The freedom of speech, even if it offends, is key to our society's ability to grow and learn. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or prohibiting the free exercise thereof, or abridging the freedom of speech, or of the press, or of the right of the people to peacefully assemble and to petition the government for redress of grievances. Yes, there is a lot there, but let's focus on one area: abridging the freedom of speech. There was recently an example of an organization that is trying to curtail this fundamental right. First off, let's state that yes, private organizations do have the right to police themselves and allow or disallow anyone into or out of their ranks. But this ability should not stop an organization from supporting this basic fundamental right of our society. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. Let's dive in. The Daily Caller recently published an article, All Lives Matter Gets Texas Student Suspended, Sent to Diversity Workshop. A student government leader at the University of Houston was suspended for 50 days in order to attend diversity seminar after she criticized the Black Lives Matter movement online. Shortly after the July 7th shootings in Dallas that killed 5 officers, Rohini Sethi went on Facebook and opined, "Forget Black Lives Matter, more like All Lives Matter." That statement was later deleted, but only after numerous University of Houston students denounced it as incredibly offensive or even hateful. Please tell me what is offensive or hateful about saying all lives matter. Does this statement not include Black lives? And when did she post the hateful comment? During the shooting of multiple Dallas police officers by a Black Lives Matter supporter. The outrage during this event is understandable, and going onto social media to express your sorrow and frustration does not rise to hate speech. Just for her saying "Forget Black Lives Matter" is a punch in the stomach, student Nala Hughes told a local press outlet at the time. Sethi serves as the vice president of the University of Houston Student Government Association, and several university students demanded her immediate removal. Well, you know what? Forget Black Lives Matter. It has unfortunately morphed into what can only be described as a true hate organization. A full removal of Sethi has significant hurdles, though. The student government constitution requires the student body president, the president of student senate, and 3/4 of present student senators to approve impeachment proceedings. Sethi would then be tried by the student Supreme Court. Now we want to put people on trial for speech. Are you so confident that it will not backfire? Because if history has taught us anything, this always does. Instead of going through the arduous process, the Student Senate approved a measure giving the student government president Shane Smith exceptional one-time powers to punish Sethi as he saw fit. In response, Smith released a letter Friday outlining a set of 5 punishments for Sethi. The punishments include the following. This is exactly what fascist dictators need in order to enact their final solution. Once a power is granted to a leader, they seldom release this power. This is exactly how far-left communist governments act. True, this is only a student government organization, but these young people will soon lead our nation. And what is the punishment for speaking your mind now? A 50-day suspension from the SGA started August 1. The suspension will be unpaid. She currently receives a stipend of about $700 a month. A requirement to attend a 3-day diversity workshop in mid-August. A requirement to attend University of Houston cultural events each month from September through March, excluding December. in order to write a letter of reflection about how her harmful actions have impacted the Student Government Association and University of Houston student body, in order to put on a public presentation on September 28th detailing the knowledge she has gained about cultural issues facing our society. This is Re-Education 101. They're now pushing wrongthink. Fascism starts slow, but it picks up speed with every success. And sadly, this is a small success for fascism. If Sateeth refuses or fails any of the requirements, she will be kicked out of the Student Government Association entirely. Smith notes in his letter that the punishment was particularly harsh because, in his view, Sateeth has not recognized the severity of her offense in declaring that all people's lives matter. Since her original post, I have not felt that she has understood or respected how her actions have affected the people around her, as well as represented the Student Government Association and the university, Smith says. How exactly did her actions affect the people around her? By expressing her opinion that differs from another, she caused harm to others? Please explain this to me. He also said that despite University of Houston being a public university, free speech consideration does not factor into the punishment. The First Amendment prevents a person from being jailed by the government for what they say, but it does not prevent people from receiving other consequences for what they say. Even if what she said was extremely hateful, she still has the right to that opinion. The underlying reason for the First Amendment is not only for the government, but rather also for the people. Yes, it protects people from the government directly, but if I cannot speak my mind about a subject without repercussions by my employer, or school, or peers, do I really have the freedom of speech? And exactly what other consequences might someone face for something that they say? This is a very slippery slope, and honestly, we probably shouldn't even be on it. If we silence opinions we disagree with, we cannot prove them incorrect. Re-education doesn't work. An open and honest discourse is what propels our society forward and into a better place. Without it, we fall backwards into ignorance. Forcing re-education into the correct think will lead to the downfall of our society. Freedom of speech is more than just words written on a piece of paper. It is a philosophy, it is a way of life, and it is a guiding ideal to strive for. JFK said, "A man may die, nations may rise and fall, but an idea lives on." The idea of freedom of speech is so ingrained in our society that without it, our society will fall. If you like this video, please consider subscribing or send us a message on Facebook. We will be updating regularly.